This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome to the Equity Alerts / Clear Lines overview session. I'm your host, Kipp Cohen. It is Tuesday, the 19th of April, 2022, here for the next 60 minutes to talk about equity alerts and clear lines and how we use the Clear Lines indicator on the MedvedTrader platform, as well as answer your questions that you may have about what we do and how we do it. This is a twice weekly training session, by the way. At this time, we have a twice weekly training session every Tuesday and Thursday at 1:30 Eastern. So normally these training sessions are geared for the subscribers of Equity Alerts and Clear Lines that are looking to basically ask training questions on how to use the platform, how to make and manage trades, kind of a open session. Today, though, I decided to email out and invite some people in, which I see many showing up to spend this hour discussing more in depth of what we do and how we do it. If you do have questions, you can submit them through the GoToMeeting chat. Also, you're welcome, if you would like, to unmute your mic if you have a question specifically for me. I'm happy to answer those as well in a few minutes. Give me a few minutes. If you have questions outside of this session, you can email me, kip@equity-alerts.com. You can text or call me, 972-841-8886. And again, I want to welcome all of you here that are joining today. Anybody that might be here for the first time, welcome. Wow, a blast from the past. Mojo Daddy-O. Haven't seen you in a while. Hold on a second. Sorry. The joys of working at home. So let me just give you a real quick overview of who I am and what we do, and we'll kind of go from there. I spent 17 years at WiseTrade and was responsible for developing trading strategies using the WiseTrade algorithm, was responsible for teaching and training and providing alerts. And obviously, my WiseTrade had been acquired several times, and after their last acquisition by Ally Bank, after about 2 years, Ally made a business decision to close down and discontinue the WiseTrade product. I jumped in, joined and partnered with Jim Chanel and Lindsay Perry with their equity-alerts.com. And then I partnered with a developer and another trader to create clear trading systems, where we developed the clear lines, which is a momentum indicator that is as close as I could get to the WiseTrade algorithm without actually having it exactly. And we partnered with MedvedTrader almost I guess it's been over 3 years ago. We partnered with Medved to provide a platform to run the clear lines on for multiple reasons. Timing was a big part of it because I had a very short window And at the time they were integrated with Ally, so it made sense. And Medved was free for Ally customers back then. So things have changed, free commissions, and brokers aren't giving away anything. So uh, uh, Medved does charge a small fee on top of what we charge for our services, and um, I do provide ongoing training support for the product for clear lines and in these twice weekly training sessions, and then private scheduled training sessions and support if needed outside of that. Um, we discovered once we developed our relationship with Medved that their platform was pretty amazing. It integrated with a bunch of brokers. It did a lot of great things that we hadn't been able to do before. And they continue to enhance the platform by adding more indicators and features. So for us, the relationship with Medved has been great. I know a few people, the only thing that they don't like is they don't offer phone support. They only offer email support, but they're pretty quick to respond and take care of customer needs. And if somebody needs someone to speak to, I can always help out as well. So you're looking at on your screen, you can see this is I call it my 4-chart layout. It actually has a different name. It's called Pure Clear Lines Active. It's pure because I was using a lot of different technicals as we started using Medved. I started, and clients were seeing different things. I started adding, and end of last year, I started pulling stuff off and kind of stripped it back down to try to get it as clean and simple as possible. So I currently actively trade with a 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, and 8 minute. The 8 minute on the bottom right is my intraday foundation. So it shows me the trend of the day, and it's basically just clear lines, the red and green lines, the buying and selling momentum. And then underneath it, I do use a modified commodity channel index, CCI, that I've modified to my liking, and it helps validate what I see on the clear lines. So in other words, when the clear lines are red above green going up, we know we're in an uptrend. If we also have the CCI in the green and specifically up higher, we have a strong uptrend. As they start to go down, the trend weakens. So it's a visual enhancement. It, in essence, validates what I look at. So the 8 becomes my intraday, again, the foundation. I can at a quick glance say, okay, we're in a big uptrend, or we're consolidating, or we're in a downtrend. And I don't need much else. I can see that clearly. And then I look at the smaller, the 1, 2, and the 5, primarily just to guide me when to get in and when to get out. Those charts, in addition to the clear lines and the modified CCI, one indicator that we really like is volume weighted average price, and it's this line right here. It looks kind of grayish, bluish, but we've been using that for some time. Price tends to gravitate back towards it. So if we're going to short, we look for something up above VWAP. If we're looking to go long, we look for something underneath it, knowing that it's going to be a magnet and try to drag it towards it. And then I use a couple different I use the Fibonacci pivots now. I don't use any other pivots. I don't use dailies. I don't use demarks. Strictly Fibonacci daily and a weekly. The weekly on the 5 minute. I like them. They give me points of reference to where stocks tend to stall out, turn around, go to. So they've become kind of part of my stable now. Eric says, are you using anchored VWAP or regular? I just use straight regular volume weighted average price. It's just straight VWAP. And I know, well, they also have VWAP bands, but I just use straight VWAP. So MedVed does have a lot of different technicals, and they keep adding new ones. But what I realized, and I had a period where I was struggling a little bit. I think it was information overload. I had too many indicators on my chart. Too much. I had a conversation with my partner Jim, and he said you need to simplify it. And so I started pulling things out. Eric wanted to know why Fibonacci pivots instead of DMARC or standard. I did not have an option either way, but I was wondering which is better. I've always been a fan of using Fibonacci levels. I see a lot of stuff gravitating towards the different Fibonacci pivots. And you like right here, Uber as an example. Look where VWAP is down here. It's right at FR2. So, and look where it is up here, right at FR3. I just see it more frequently. It's what I like and it's my go-to. I'm not saying it's wrong to use the other ones. I'm just saying for me, that's what I like. So we still do, just so you know, same thing that I've been doing for pretty much 20 years. In the mornings, we review before the market opens the poppers and droppers. When the market opens, we trade the poppers and droppers, and then we have a list of a bunch of different stocks. The cool thing about MedVed is I can create these watch lists. You can see up at the top my watch list. I can go in and add and remove symbols from that list. I can create multiple watch lists. I pretty much just watch the main list because I have it set up a certain way. I can see I have futures that I can watch up at the top. I have my FANG plus stocks on the next row, Apple, Amazon, Baba, Facebook, Microsoft, Netflix, Nvidia, and Tesla. These are stocks that we watch every day and we trade a lot of these. And then the next row is going to be the poppers and the droppers. And then following that is a handful of other poppers, other droppers, and then further down the list, starting with Alcoa and in alphabetical order, is another group of about 40 or so stocks that we watch every day because we like to trade them because they have momentum, they have good volume. You can get in and get out pretty quickly. So we have a pretty good list of stocks that we watch every day. And so again, at the open, we're just watching what's moving. Let me go up to the poppers. So today we had AXSM, which actually, I'm going to go to this 5 minute. You can see popped up and then rolled over. I did not trade this, but it did pop up over 46 and came all the way down, actually to fib pivot right at 38. So you can pretty clearly look at this chart, this 5 minute, and see where it ran up, came down through VWAP, gravitated down to through fib resistance 1, down to fib resistance 2, down to fib pivot. So they just kind of followed these levels, came back up. It kept testing the volume weighted average price, kept testing it. Bounced off fib pivot, back up to Fibonacci resistance and VWAP. And now look where it's stuck. The magnet, fib resistance 1 and VWAP, is stuck there. Zen, Zen dropped pretty quick, and I was not able to catch it this morning. But it had a pretty decent drop out of the gate. Dropped down from almost 130, 129.80s, all the way down to 127 and change. And bounced, you can see, gravitated right back to VWAP, hung out there, and then broke out again. This is the type of stuff we focus on. We look for these stocks that are making these moves. Plug was good, but I got faked out. I got in Plug early and got out too quick, and then it proceeded to go down further. But Plug was a good popper, and then it ran up, went back to the top of the first 5 and 15 minutes, rolled down. I got a little fake out here, and it proceeded higher. One of the things today I would say is a pretty good example of how I use money management. And I'll show you. I'm just going to show you my trades for today so you can see what I traded. Plug, Roblox, J&J, Zim, Boeing, SI, Roblox again, Plug, Etsy, Roku, Nvidia, Disney, TTWO, Twilio, and Roku again. So most of these stocks are stocks that we watch every day. And today was a good example of how money management can work in your favor. Most of my losses were pretty minimal. 16 cents, 14 cents, 25 cents, 19 cents, 34 cents. All right. I had some small gains, 4 cents, 8 cents, 3 cents. I had a flat, 0. And then I had a 27-cent winner, a 99-cent winner, a 50-cent winner, a 50-cent winner, a 65-cent winner, and a 28-cent winner. So at the end of the day, that's 2.25 points. At the end of the morning, because I don't typically trade after 12:30 Eastern. I usually cut it and I'm done. But to me, this is about as close. I mean, a perfect day obviously would be no losses, which was my first probably hour or so. And then as you get into the day, it gets a little more challenging. But this is what I like to do. Sometimes I have small gains, sometimes I have small losses. I like to cut them. If I can catch a big move, then I get the big move and then move on to the next trade. Sometimes I'm just shoving limits in, trying to get filled. So like Nvidia, I think did I use a limit on Nvidia? No, SI used a limit. But jumped in. I think I saw it stall out and I jumped out with a just shy of $1. Jim and Lindsay will hang in a little longer, and they're looking for bigger moves. The difference between me and them is if something does not totally work in their favor, they'll hold it. They may hold it for several days. And then what ends up happening, most of those trades end up working out pretty well for them. But I prefer not to hold anything overnight. I don't hold generally past midday. Every once in a while, I'll leave something on with a bracket order, that I can manage from my phone. But for the most part, when I'm done, I'm done. I don't want to have to stress. I don't want to have to worry about it. And I'll tell you, the last couple of weeks have been a little more challenging. The markets have been doing some really crazy stuff. We all go through those periods. Um, you if you haven't taken the opportunity to look at our results lately, we post everything, win or lose. If we're still holding, you see where we're in. But win or lose, every trade gets posted every day. So here's yesterday. And it breaks down by each of us. Jimmy's active swings, anything he's still holding, his long-term position trades, Lindsay's active in swings, his earnings, and his positions, and then my actives. But yesterday was a pretty good day also. Not a big day. I didn't do a lot of trades. 8 trades, buck and a half, 2 small losers. Um, could you put up AMD on the 2-minute chart? What would like to see what it looks like on yours? Absolutely. So if I click up here, it's going to load the chart. So here's the 2-minute. This is just clear lines with the fib pivots, the VWAP, and the modified CCI, and then here's the candlesticks. So the only reason I'll put candles up, I don't want them on all my charts. I put them on a couple because I need to see where price goes, because the clear lines are momentum indicators. They're not price indicators, because you'll notice that price goes above and below the clear lines, right? So if I want to know exactly where that price is, I turn on the candlesticks. I can turn them off and just see clear lines only. Right. The just like I have on my 8-minute chart, I keep it simple. And you can see right in here, see that CCI shot up, and look where the arrow, it got an up arrow. So there was a lot of momentum coming in. A lot of momentum. A lot of momentum just came. Well, SPY just ripped in the last 5 minutes. Just ripped almost 10 points. Something just happened. Hey, thanks, Mojo. Good to hear from you, buddy. Yeah, we're doing well. Thank you. So using the 2-minute, when you got the down arrow right here this morning, then you also had the CCI coming down the hill, which means a change in momentum. So that would have given you a signal to get short, and you could have ridden it down till you got an up arrow and the CCI starting moving back up the hill. Now, I don't know how much price that was, but probably 30 cents. I can see the price over here. Um, but I have to use the candles to see where it actually went. So what I'll do is I'm going to look through, see if I can find anything maybe that looks interesting, maybe for a little trade. I hate melt up days, especially everything just ripped. What do you think of wicks for a short? Um, Little light on the volume, even though it's traded 500,000 shares. Kind of dead. I think I would have rather been up a little higher, closer to 95. I think it's kind of fizzed out at this point. I think if you're already in it, it's a pretty good trade. I think if you're thinking about it right now, you're you're a little on the late side. Late for me. Yeah, I would have rather been up in when that 2 minute rolled over, kind of up off this top up here. That's my spot. Frank says coin. You thinking about going long, Frank? Yeah, again, so the ideal short, let's go to this 5 minute. You hit the weekly fib pivot right here. It hit that weekly fib pivot, rolled over. So that was your short. And at that point, you had $2 to VWAP. Now you're almost at VWAP. So you're way too late. So I have a rule. I need to be at least, if it's over $100 stock, I need to be at least $1 from VWAP. If it's under 100, I need to be at least 1% from VWAP. Because remember, VWAP is going to it acts like a magnet to pull, but then a lot of times it's a bounce. So sometimes like the poles reverse and then the thing shoots off of VWAP. Sometimes it breaks through it and dumps, but I want to be in this trade up here when it's pulling it towards it, not as I'm approaching it. So that's for my taste, that's way too late. I don't do with the exception in the pre-market, I don't when I'm looking at poppers and droppers, I don't look much at the historical charts, but I can if I want. Um, to do that, all I have to do is pick any one of my charts. Hold on, I'm trying to find something that could be interesting. So much has moved down towards VWAP. It's tough to try to short up here now. So if I want to look at the history, I just right click. So there's a lot of right click functionality in the MedVed Trader platform. So I can go to historical charts. So that's your monthly or long term, weekly, midterm, and daily short term. The great thing about MedVed is that what we couldn't do with WiseTrade is I can look way back. Like this goes back to 2015. So I see years of history. You couldn't do that with Wise Trade. You only got to see a couple years. And that's the same on the minutes. I can scroll backwards on minutes as well. Not that far back, but pretty far back. WDC getting up near highs of the day. X getting up near highs. Z, ooh, Z. Zoom. Okay, Zoom interests me. So we're definitely getting toppy. Starting to see a lot of arrows at the top. Definitely in a outside of its most likely trading range. Let's see, what's the daily ATR? Almost 7 points. So it's up 6. So it's near its. It just dumped. It just dumped. Zillow's not bad. It's kind of bumping against fib resistance up here. It's got about 80 cents to VWAP. The other great thing is with Medved is that I can chart trade. So I can get my order ready. So I can stage it and just wait. And Medved um, connects with multiple brokers, TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, Webull. Um, if you have a Fidelity account, you can trade through here, but you have to get your quotes from somewhere else. E-Trade is similar. I don't know. It's some weird deal. But a lot of us use TD. Choice Trade, Ally is still connected with them. You basically have the ability to go in and um, connect accounts, you know. Robinhood, Fidelity, E-Trade. If you trade cryptos, Binance or Coinbase. Yeah, I wish I would have caught Zoom, but I was too late. It dropped too quick. There's some real cool features too where you can set it to automatically, like if you want a position size to be a certain amount every time, like, $10,000 or $20,000, it'll calculate the number of shares for you automatically, and it can round up or down to whole numbers. So here, I'll do Zillow short. If your broker allows it, you can do bracket orders. Like I have bracket orders set, the ability to set a bracket with TD or OCO order. So I can just go figure out my risk and my reward. And then set the order. Holy smokes. Pippin, how are you, buddy? Haven't seen you in forever. A blast from the past. Someone's like, Pippin, wow. I haven't heard from you in a long time. Hope you're well. Um, I gotta say, my partner Jimmy has done phenomenal, and his numbers they speak for themselves. Today he's had some amazing trades. Um, 80 cents on SI, 70 on CLF, a dollar on PDD, another 235 on SI, 51 on PDD, Twitter 38, AMD 55, Twitter 46, PDD 27, FANG 77. That was all before noon this morning that he did that. He's an amazing trader. He's throwing out great trades all day long. Lindsay throwing out great trades all day long. Market open to market close. Both of those guys are trading constantly throughout the day. If you haven't tried us out, I encourage you to try us out. If you tried us before, try us again. Oh, all right. First time I've been back here since November 2012. Tio. Well, welcome. Glad to have you here. Glad you joined in today. Oh, I'm watching Roku just rolled over and dumped. I was watching on my other screen. So the nice thing, by the way, about this platform is these windows are all modular. So you can create multiple layouts. So I have a layout for in the mornings when I'm reviewing charts, my two chart layout. It's real basic. It's clear lines only, but I can see what's going on. I can review the trend. This is just, you can build all kinds of I have all kinds of layouts depending on, what your needs are. Literally endless number of layouts. But like I said, I've gotten to the point where I kind of keep it simplified now. I have one layout I use in the pre-market, and then I flip over to this when just before the open. Yeah, Pippin, I was thinking about I wanted to short Amazon earlier and I missed it. 31.50. Nice little double top. That's a good short. We traded a little here and there. Eric wanted to know if I do any swing trading. I personally do not do swing trading. I strictly trade actively. Again, because I I want to sleep easy at night, so not worry. Um, Jim and Lindsay will take trades overnight. I mean, most of what we do is active, Eric, with sprinkling of a little position and swing in position. Something just happened because TZA just ripped and SPY just dumped. All right, so I'm going to move my bracket order down. So the only negative with this is I can't adjust the bracket from here. I have to create a new one. Whoops. I have to create a new bracket. And then cancel that one and then replace. But now I'm a guaranteed winning trade. May not be a lot, but I'll make a little something because I got 10 cents protected. Eric says, I look back when I was a member of Wise Trade in 2007 or so when the market was tanking. Had I known what I was doing at the time, I would have shorted more all the way down. Yep. Yep. What are those arrows? So the arrows on the chart basically is when the lines cross and lock. It confirms it's a visual of the crossover the lines. That's all it is. So the bigger the time frame, the fewer the arrows. You'll notice, like on the 8 minute, there are very few arrows compared to like there's going to be a bunch on a 1 minute, right? Like I'll go back to Amazon and you'll see Amazon had one up arrow in the pre-market this morning, and then you got down arrows on the 8 minute, three down arrows across that top. So this was pretty clear. This up move, you had the CCI up in the green, and then as that CCI starts rolling down the hill, and then you get a down arrow, that was a pretty good indication. This was a great indication of a trend reversal. When you started seeing that coming down the hill, and then you got the crossover, that was the beginning of the rollover. All right, I got to go back to Z, see if I can. So the other, and I'm going to close this trade. I'm going to show you. There's another really great deal. This little button, flatten. So I can just punch that. It'll cancel any open orders, and it's going to flatten the trade. There's also reversal as well. Great features from Medved. So I can just click it, cancels, and then it closes the trade. Come on, put my order. Okay, there we go. So I got filled at 57 and a half, 48.57 and a half. So I picked up 21 cents on Z. Yeah, Pippin, that was something I wanted as a visualization, just to make it easier to see. Where it's also really great is on the historical charts, because then you can really see, like if you go to like a daily, you get a cross. Now sometimes the lines do weird things and you get like these false, like if the lines are going up and you get a red, that's a false. But there's a down, then an up and a down. So you see a little more clearly. You see bounces. Obviously, the market chop factors a little into that. But, look at this monthly chart. Here was let me put Amazon up, right? Up arrow for months, down arrow. Up arrow for months, down arrow. Up arrow for months, short down. Long up arrow, down. So you get a lot of these long running arrows. And all as it is, again, it's just a confirmation when the lines cross over. When the line's crossing and the interval closes, then it stays. If it's intra-interval, like, if we're on a 1 minute or 2 minute, you can get an arrow that could disappear. It has to close that interval and then it locks in. Like TZA just gave a up arrow right here. Well, we're still in the middle of this 1 minute. So the interval just closed. So that's now permanent. It just locked in. But that could have disappeared. So Pippin wants to know what time frame is your trigger. So I'm watching all, but I'm pretty much triggering off of 1 minute. I enter off the one. If I see something like, like I saw just a lot of toppiness, this was all pretty toppy, real toppy, then I would I jump in because I'm thinking, all right, it's going to pull back. And sure enough, it pulled back. But I also had right here that CCI had just gone red, although it went back to green. But I had a couple down arrows, and then we rolled off the cliff. Um, One person says they can't hear me. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. Thanks. So for us, nothing's really changed. We do the same thing we've been doing day in, day out for I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years plus, 21 years now. And pretty much from when I started broadcasting and started providing poppers and droppers and trades, nothing has really changed much. It's this, the thing that we have recognized is the methods that we trade, the style we trade over the long haul has consistently worked. Now, are there some periods where, it's a little tougher than others? Absolutely. Like I said earlier, the last couple of weeks were tough for me. I struggled, but then get back on track. So, Jerome, he want to know, can you offer a 1 week paid or daily trial? So we offer a 30-day for just $20 for $19.99. So you can try it for a month. Ah, you already used it up. I got you. All right, you work full time. Um, I can hold on, Jerome. Send me an email, okay, Jerome. Email me, Kipp. I'll give you the email. email me, kip@equity-alerts.com. Let me know when you want I can only give you 1 day at a time. Let me know when you want a day, and I'll give you access. You'll only have access to the alerts because you'd have to resubscribe to MedVed to get clear lines. But yes. Yeah, you'll have access to the chat room. I can give you access to the chat room for if you want just the clear lines for a month, you just have to subscribe for a month, which is 59 plus 20. Hold on, let me make sure I got that right. Yeah, 59 plus the 19.99 from MedVed. If you just want clear lines, that's no alerts. And then if you want the full everything, it's 19.99 for the first month, no additional fees. And then after that, it's 149 plus 19.99 from MedVed. But yeah, just message me. Where's your profit target and stop at? Well, I'm already bailed out of Z. So I just I try to get what I can get is what I do. And in these market times, a lot of days it's grab and go, set limits, make sure you got a stop in when you can get it in quick. But again, here, this was my day today. These were all the trades I made, plus the extra I just got on Z. This doesn't include Z. These were all the trades I gave alerts in the webinar. So, I'm not trying to knock it out of the park. I'm just trying to most days pick up 1.5 to 2.5 points on average. Some days are bigger, some days are less. And I only trade the morning. I don't trade in the afternoons. Those that haven't heard from me in a while, I actually have another business I run in the afternoons. So I'm not home most afternoons. And that's just due to the fact that after 20 plus years sitting in front of computers, it's hard for me to be in front of I have 4 24-inch monitors in front, a 41-inch to my right, and then 2 more monitors to my left. So, and an iPad. So I have 8 screens in front of me that I'm looking at throughout the day. And it's taken a toll on me. So I made the decision that I would only trade half a day and step away from the computer in the afternoons. Personal preference, my choice, my decision. So I got bored and started another business, and it's gone extremely well, and I enjoy it. I do handyman work. Well, more like if it goes on a wall, I put it up. Art, TVs, shelves. And it's fun. I enjoy it. Actually, I'm leaving here shortly to go hang a gigantic piece of art for a client. So it gets me out of my house, gets me using my hands, gets me away from the computer screen, which is something I personally needed a break from. My eyes have gotten progressively worse over the years. So, plus, I feel like in the afternoons I'm not as sharp when it comes to trading, and so that made sense to me. Question is, how's my son's insurance going? So, he had his Allstate agency. He sold it. He and his wife moved to Colorado. He's actually just starting up he worked for an insurance agent for a while. He's starting an independent agency. He's a little bit of an entrepreneur too. He's starting a new job, and he's starting an insurance agency on the side. And he also does similar handyman type work that I've been doing. So he's got a lot going on. He's a busy kid. He's doing well. Thank you for asking. We're going to actually go up to see them next month. We were supposed to go this coming weekend, but had to reschedule. So we're going end of May. So that's pretty much what we do day in and day out. Again, we don't have any top secret stuff we use. We've refined our medved with clear lines and a couple other indicators, and we do, like I said, we're doing the same thing we do day in and day out. And I feel like, I've got a great team. We've got a great group. A lot of the traders they've been with us since the beginning when Wise Trade closed down, and many of them have been with me for now close to 20 years. If you remember Norm's still with us every day. The indicator at the bottom is a CCI. Can we know the settings? What do the lines are? Just moving average. So yeah, so this is a CCI. Again, it's a modified Norm. It's a modified CCI. So that's the cool thing about Medved. They kind of they have some abilities to play with some of the indicators and tweak them. And the CCI had a lot of different tweaks to it, and so I did some refining. But it's a 9 period, uses a high, low, close, open divided by 4. The high plus the low plus the close plus the open divided by 4. And if it's above 0 or below 0, I mean, it's a type of momentum indicator. Again, the red and green lines on the chart, those are my clear lines. Those are momentum indicators. They're not moving averages. I don't use moving averages. Well, I'll say I have one chart that has a couple moving averages. Actually, it has 3. It has a 9, a 20, and a 200. Jimmy likes to use moving averages, just helps him out. So I keep them on one single chart just as so I can see what's going on. Real quick request to put up S&P. There's the S&P E-mini. And probably sign up late this year when I have more time. I only spend about half an hour daily at opening to make adjustments in my account. Not really trading right now. Too much to do until later this year. All right. Well, we'll be happy to have you join us later in the year. If you have questions, don't hesitate to email me. But there's the S&P today. A little cleaner on the 5. I actually like to watch the S&P on a 3-minute. But that was a pretty clean ride up. And just a little baby pullback. All right, guys, that's it for me. I want to thank you all for joining today. I really appreciate it. If you have questions outside of this session, please don't hesitate to email me, kip@equity-alerts.com. You're also welcome to call or text me on my cell phone if you have additional questions, want to know more about what we're doing. And I invite you to come back. I do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 1:30 Eastern. again, usually it's just sometimes I get a couple people come in and they'll turn on their mic and we'll talk. And again, this session is typically geared more for educational purposes, just for helping out clients. But I do appreciate you being here today, Pippin. Great to see you, and Wayne and Sven and all the others, Jerome, Tio, everybody else. Thank you for joining in today. Frank, Iono, Steve. Have a great afternoon, and hope to see you guys back another day. Take care.